For anyone in the ground who's at their first Vitality Blast game, take a look at the big screens now for an overview of the rules you will need to know.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats.
Unfortunately, since
If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are hold, caught, 1 out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stopped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
And now the team lineups for today's Vitality Blast Northern match, beginning with the visitors, the Worcestershire Rapids. 15, Brendan Oliveira, the skipper. Matthew Waite wears 6. 3, Josh Cobb. 54, Adam Hose. 77, Ethan Brooks. 12, Tom Taylor. 20, Nathan Smith. 7, Ed Pollock. 86, Adrian Walsh. 9, the wicketkeeper, Gareth Roderick. And 61, Adam Finch. And now, your Yorkshire Vikings starting 11. Beginning with number 9, Adam Lyde. Number 29, David Milan. Number 94, the skipper, Shah Masood. 66,
5 minutes away from blast-off, but before we do so, I'd like you to welcome the one, the only, Vinny the Viking!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome along from Headingley for the first of the Vitality T20 Blast fixtures of 2024. Always a time for optimism. And the Worcestershire Rapids in town as Yorkshire's Vikings' first opponents in the comp this year. The news is that at the toss that the visitors won it and have decided to bat first on a used pitch. Umpires Neil Malander and Surendiram Shanmugam will be out there very shortly. With the first two players in the Worcestershire lineup for Yorkshire, well, the first team selected by Otis Gibson this season is as follows. Adam Lyth and David Malanta open the batting as ever. Both were ever presents last year, as was skipper Shan Masood, who'll go in at 3. Joe Root, who's available for the first 7 matches of the competition, to bat at 4. With overseas signing Donovan Ferreira keeping wicket and batting 5. Jordan Thompson, another ever present last season, at 6, as was Matthew Revis, he's batting 7. Dominic Bess will go in at 8. Jaffa Chauhan, another who played in all the matches in the comp last year, bats at 9. Dominic Leach and Dan Moriarty 10 and 11. So Yorkshire going in really with a spin-heavy bowling attack here. And for the Rapids, Brett D'Oliveira skippering. Former Yorkshire player, of course, Matthew Waite, Josh Cobb, Adam Hose, Ethan Brooks, Tom Taylor, Nathan Smith, Ed Pollock, Hayden Walsh, wicketkeeper Gareth Roderick and Adam Finch, who of course broke Yorkshire's hearts with that last gasp win down at New Road in the fixture between the two sides last year. Now, in the history of the comp between these two sides, well, it's been favourable for Yorkshire. They've won 10 of the matches between the teams compared to 6 for Worcestershire. And on this ground, Yorkshire have 7 wins and Worcestershire just the 2. The Worcester, though, have done better than Yorkshire in terms of the fact that they've won the title once before, 2018 when they beat Sussex. In 2019 they also made the final. Yorkshire have only made the final the once, losing to Hampshire in 2012. Graham Orange is my commentary colleague for the evening. I'm Jonathan Doidge. Thanks for your company. And it's going to be Dominic Leach from the Kirkstall Lane end to open the bowling for Yorkshire and get things going for 2024. Cracking atmosphere, G.
Absolutely, JD, yes. Good evening, everyone, and hope springs eternal. Of course, these two sides have yet to record a win in their respective county championship fixtures, so something's got to give tonight, and interesting lineups, with Yorkshire sporting a strong batting lineup, and Worcestershire, of course, getting to the quarter-finals last year, beaten by Hampshire. They finished 3rd in the North fixture in the North table. So it's great to be back for the Vitality T20.
So Leach, first ball of the season in this form of the game, is in, and that's into his old teammate Matthew Waite, right-handed. The ball thuds into the thigh pad and drops into the leg side. Did he get any bat on it?
He must have done, yes. He hasn't signalled.
Yeah, didn't see the signal. Umpire Shanmugam is at this Kirkstall Lane end. Neil Mallender the Ghost, as he's nicknamed at square leg. So 1 without loss, Worcestershire after the first delivery of the evening. That brings skipper Brett D'Oliveira on strike. Not full here at Headingley by any stretch of the imagination, but pretty well populated nonetheless, as Leach, right arm over the wicket, comes in and to bowl to D'Oliveira, who plays with a straight blade back down the pitch. There's a slip in place. There's a short third man. Chauhan's occupying a position at a sort of square cover inside the circle. Revis down at a wide third man outside the circle. Also a short extra cover. David Milan usually fields there, and yep, he turns his back to reveal his number, and it is him. And then mid on and mid off are up inside the circle, and there's a short fine leg. The other man outside the circle is in front of square on the leg side, Jordan Thompson, as Leach comes in and fires one down the leg side. That'll cost him a run and an extra bit of energy to bowl the next ball.
Yes, I mean, his first 2 balls are on the money. That one just sliding down the leg side, but generating quite a bit of pace, Dom Leach. And interesting to see how this is going to pan out, because Yorkshire have got the 3 spinners in their side, and it could be death by spin as far as Worcestershire are concerned.
We'll see. Yorkshire often stick Adam Lyth in, don't they, for a cheeky first over when the batters are having a look and try and get away without much in the way of concession. He's been taking wickets in Championship cricket of late, as Leach's latest delivery is better. It's full and it's punched up to Joe Root, who is fielding at mid-off. So another dot, and whether they come in the first over or the last, all of those when you're out there in the field are more than welcome. 2 without loss then after 3.
Yeah, so far so good this over. He's been on the money, apart from the one that went down the leg side for a wide.
Here he comes again. This is at 6th T20 outing for Yorkshire, and he's bowled him. D'Oliveira steps right across to try and scoop that, and whether he saw him or not, Dominic Leach, well, who cares really? He stepped across and he's hit middle stump. Can't really get much better than that. Probably about halfway up, so a full length delivery, and Worcestershire have lost their first and the skipper's gone. They're 2 for 1.
Yes, D'Oliveira seems to be berating himself as he walks slowly from the field of play, and I'm just looking at a replay now. He went across far too much on the offside, and yes, the ball hit the middle stump. So a great start for Yorkshire. Dom Leach has been on the money for the most part this over, and he's got his reward there. So yeah, a blow for Worcestershire Rapids, as D'Oliveira is out for naught. Bowled Leach.
Yep, 4th ball, 4th legitimate delivery of the match. And so a new man coming in at number 3 is the former Northants man Josh Cobb, and again right-handed. He's going to sort his guard out, but I was going to say, Graham, well, that'll do Dom Leach's confidence no harm whatsoever. He's been doing it tough down at Northants in the first team last weekend, and also to some extent maybe as well the week before, although he did take the wicket of Cheteshwar Pujara in both innings of a championship match at Sussex recently. First ball that Cobb faces is turned square on the leg side, and Jordan Thompson does the fielding. Yes,
it's I mean, Josh Cobb has come from Northamptonshire, great record for the Steelbacks, and a lot of experience there, but they have to rebuild here really. There's 1 ball to go in the over. 3 for 1 Worcestershire Rapids.
The Vikings in a fetching new Cambridge blue strip with touches of Oxford blue and gold on it, traditional club colours, as Leach is in. Ooh, now then, a little bit of evidence of wobble in the air, I think, there, and Matthew Waite didn't play it altogether convincingly, but got enough on it to get through for a single to complete that over, with Worcestershire on 4 for 1. Waite on 2, and Cobb with just the 1 run against his name.
Yeah, a good over there from Dom Leach. As I say, he was on the money for the most part, and that's exactly the start that Yorkshire wanted.
bowling to Dan Moriarty.
So, Dan Moriarty, going to be really interesting ground to see how, well, A, will this pitch take spin? As I say, we're obviously up at a distance here on the 4th floor, but it certainly doesn't look particularly green compared to 1 or 2 that we've seen in the season so far, in the other form of the game, or one of the other forms of the game. So Moriarty, left armour, for those who've not seen him before. Orthodox left arm spinner, bowling to Matthew Waite, who we know from his time with Yorkshire can certainly get after the bowling. Remember that 32 he hit in an over at York in a 50 over game just a few years ago, where the ball was disappearing to all parts. First ball of Moriarty's night is turned through mid-wicket by Waite, 1 run.
Yeah, it's just guided onto the onside there for an easy single, and that brings Josh Cobb to face Moriarty, who's bowling from the Howard stand end, and he's bowling left arm round.
In he comes then. Oh, now then. Cobb is looking to exploit that yawning gap in the onside, and does so with a single from a ball that was probably taken from, felt like it was outside off stump. We're not banging line here, but we're fairly straight. We're about 2 strips away, which is often as close as we get in the com box. The players outside the circle, the 2 men out in this power play, are at long on, and a straightish mid-wicket come cow corner. There's another mid-wicket straighter than that who's on the wicket ends. Not coming into play with this delivery though, because Waite playing that from the leg side of the ball, ends up pushing it back to Moriarty. He's got 4 men inside the ring on the offside, 3 on the leg side. Obviously Ferreira, first time we've seen him, Donovan Ferreira with the gloves on, and he's got a wicket. Dan Moriarty has got the wicket with Ferreira completing the job. What a great introduction to his time at Yorkshire Vikings, because Matthew Waite gave Moriarty the charge, and he's charging off back to the dressing room. It's Worcestershire Rapids 6 for 2 halfway through the second.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Moriarty is firing the ball in, and he went down the track there, did Matthew Waite, and missed it, and there we have it. We have the stumping by Ferreira. He was well out really, and I don't think there was a lot of turn there, but he just he could have been beaten by the pace of the spinner really, if you see what I mean, because he's not giving it much air. So a great start for Yorkshire here. It really is. He couldn't be better. 6 for 2.
Yeah, super start. Just 10 balls into the match, so both wickets falling. 4th legitimate delivery of each respective over so far. Partnerships worth just 2 and 4. And a man who has scored runs against Yorkshire in the past in this form of the game, particularly in his time at Birmingham, at Warwickshire. Adam Hose comes in at number 4. We're just going to do an update here, folks, for BBC Radio Leeds. So Cobb on 2, and Hose to face his first delivery. Just a change in the field here as they set things up to try and play on the strengths of what Adam Hose has got, and that means moving cow corner much squarer on the mid-wicket boundary. As Moriarty comes in to bowl end to Hose, his first delivery is punched back to the bowler, and there is no run. Great start here, Jack. Fantastic start by the Yorkshire Vikings. 2 wickets in the first 10 balls of the match. The first of them was Brett D'Oliveira, the Worcestershire skipper, bowled by Dominic Leach, who I thought, as I said beforehand, you may see the early batters try and target. A bit low on confidence from his time in red ball cricket recently, as we see a 4 struck there. Second ball by Adam Hose, the first boundary of the night of Dan Moriarty. So D'Oliveira has gone the 4th ball of the match without scoring, and then Matthew Waite, former Yorkshire player, well, he couldn't really get going either. Managed to make it 3 in singles off just 5 deliveries, and we've just seen what Donovan Ferreira has got to offer, the South African wicketkeeper who's been signed for the competition. Not saying that you or I couldn't have taken the bails off, to be fair, because Matthew Waite did give a fair old charge to Dan Moriarty's delivery, but Ferreira did the job of completing the stumping. Waite gone for 3, 6 for 2 after 10 balls. We're just at the end of the second over then, and they've moved on to 10 for the loss of 2 wickets, the Worcestershire Rapids, but Yorkshire with a good start. So Leach continuing at the Kirkstall Lane end, and that has been turned into the leg side there by Cobb.
Yeah, let's hope that Yorkshire can keep up this pressure as far as they're concerned.
So 11 for 2.
Yeah, Adam Hose takes his guard. Right-hand batsman, and Leach is bowling from the Kurtzell Lane end. I've been taking a wicket in his first over. That's of the Rapids captain Brett D'Oliveira.
First ball of the over, well fielded by Jordan Thompson out there on the western terrace boundary. And they've got back for 2. 2 to Hose, who's got going pretty quickly. Over 3,500 T20 runs from 149 matches for Adam Hose, with a highest of 119, and he averages the better part of 30.
Yes, and as you said before, an ever-present last season for the Rapids.
Here's Leach scurrying in there from the Kirkstall Lane end. It's up there. Ooh, tell you what, Adam Hose is not far off getting an edge on that through to Ferreira.
Yeah.
Bit of pace about it from Leach. So,
yeah,
handy start, this one.
A genuine play and miss there through to the keeper, Ferreira.
Been a number of high-scoring games between these two sides here, and at this venue in recent years, generally speaking, you need to be scoring up towards the 200 mark to give yourselves a real chance. Good bat index. Not easy for the bowlers, but it is a big area tonight as Leach is in, and that's pushed to Joe Root by Adam Hose. Root not taking it cleanly, which ensured that they got through for a comfortable single. So Adam Hose has got himself going. Josh Cobb actually hasn't seen that much of it since he went out there. And Cobb with nearly 4,000 runs, in fact, another 7, and he'll make it to the 4,000 run mark, will the former Northants man.
Yes, 2 experienced players in the middle now for the Rapids, and they'll want to rebuild after this poor start for their side.
Leach in over the wicket again. He's stuck to that plan so far against all 4 right-handers now, as Cobb gets a short ball and cloths it really into the offside. Milan doing the fielding. Might not be full, but there's a cracking atmosphere here.
Yeah, there's a sense of anticipation, I'd say, as well, JD, would you say?
Yeah, I think there's a split decision in terms of what's the right attire to wear for this evening. Some people out there in the T-shirts, some people have got woolly hats on. It's not that cold, is it? It's not. In fact, it wasn't cold really when we came in. We came in at 5 o'clock-ish. Here's Leach again. Ooh, now then Cobb chops that into his pad, and Ferreira is quickly round from behind the stumps to throw the ball in. So again, it's been just the one boundary so far in 3 overs of power play cricket. Worcestershire Rapids just under the pump a little bit here, Graham. 14 for 2.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is it's not easy to time the ball by the looks of it. As you said, he played onto his pad there. He could have played on quite easily there, but another good over from Dom Leach, and 14 for 2 after 3 overs, the Rapids. As I say, it's I think the timing is slightly out here for the batsman, and whether the pitch is a little bit too paced, I don't know. We'll have to see, what else transpires, but Moriarty continues from the Howard stand end.
Yeah, so able to keep your openers going for a couple apiece, which is a good sign. Haven't felt a need to make a change just yet, as Moriarty is in, and Adam Hose just taking the simple and easy option of running that one all the way out to long on, where Joe Root does the fielding, and they pick up a single. There's a few fancy dressers, shall we say, out there in the crowd over on the western terrace side of the ground, as he gets underneath this one here. Cobb, this could be out, should be out. Is it going to be out? Yes, it is. Matthew Revis perfectly positioned at cow corner, and a 3rd Worcestershire Rapids wicket has gone, and it's Josh Cobb this time who has suffered as a result of that early pressure. 15 for the loss of 3 wickets, and if you lose 3 in the power play, it usually spells danger.
Yeah, I mean, only 2 allowed out of the 30-yard circle in the power play, but Cobb certainly picked him out there, Revis, right in the boundary. Yeah, in fact, it's quite a long boundary on the leg side there, and yes, I suppose you could call it cow corner. He didn't really have to move to take that catch. He was just composed himself and took it. And got Ethan Brooks in now for the Rapids, and it's still a rebuilding process for the Rapids. Yes, Cobb out for 2. Caught Revis Ball Moriarty, 15 for 2. For 3 rather.
Yeah, and you get to that stage now already where do you keep going at this? You're still in the power play. You've still got nearly 3 overs of power play to go. Can you afford to lose any more by making a mistake in taking it on? As you said after the previous wicket, maybe it isn't that easy out there. It is a used pitch. Might not be quite coming onto the bat, but still 15 for 3. Very much danger territory. Ethan Brooks has a big job to do here for the Rapids as Moriarty is in round the wicket, and Brooks turns that into the leg side where Don Bess with the peroxide blonde hairdo is fielding at straight mid wicket. Tumbling stop from him. Never pick it up on your feet when a tumble will do, Dom. Now then, across the line this time is Brooks, another right-hander for the Rapids, making his debut this evening in T20 cricket at first team level. Moriarty just takes a moment, and he comes again, the reverse sweep this time from Brooks. Oh dear me, and Leach has dived over the top of that, and that's not a great piece of fielding at all by Dom Leach, I'm afraid, to concede the 4. That should have been a dot ball, and Moriarty, I can imagine, will not be too chuffed with that.
No, it was a piece of poor fielding. It shouldn't have been a 4, but it is a 4, and they'll be relieved at that. That's the second boundary of the innings for the Rapids.
5 up inside the circle on the offside. Moriarty in again, and this time off his legs. Brooks turns it round into the onside. It's a brilliant piece of fielding. What a contrast from one ball to the next. Don Bess with a dive to his left, and he saves what would probably have been a second run in doing so. So they've managed to drag 1 back at least at Yorkshire. 20 for 3 at the end of 4 overs.
Yes, and Dom Leach continues to bowl. This will be his 3rd over coming up from the Kurtzell Lane end. After that poor piece of fielding, he'll be hoping to make amends with this over. But to be fair to him, he's bowled very well so far. And the Rapids are still a bit under the cosh here. Only 2 overs left of the power play, and they've only scored 20 for 3.
Leach then. Ball rocking from side to side as he comes into bowl. It's wide of off stump, and Brooks just chooses to lay his bat on this with a lovely measured little cut shot down to 3rd man. He'll pick up just the 1, but at the moment they just need to find a partnership to Worcestershire, or else this one will disappear very rapidly from any sort of grasp.
It's a conundrum for them, isn't it? You know, we're still in the power play, but they've lost 3 early wickets. What do they do? I mean, I think that these two have got to try and stick together as much as possible and just get the runs going.
Here's Leach to Hose, who turns it round the corner, but perfectly positioned is short, fine leg. And that's Moriarty. Yeah. Not entirely sure he took it cleanly, but he did enough to stop it. Leach with 1 for 8 so far into his 3rd over. Good stuff from him, and 2 for 12 from 2 for Moriarty.
Yeah, this is good from Yorkshire. If you just keep this pressure on.
So Leach turns, leaving our commentary position behind. Got a great view of him running in now to bowl to Hose. Oh, he's gone! He's gone. He did it straight to Adam Lyth at straight mid wicket. A 4th Worcestershire wicket has gone. 21 for 4. And all the top 4 have gone well inside the power play. What a start for the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, that was hit very hard, but I'm afraid from the Rapids' point of view, straight to the fielder at mid-wicket, who held on to the catch, straight to him, and that's Lyth. And so Leach gets another wicket, 2 wickets apiece for both Leach and Moriarty. So Yorkshire doing extremely well here. 21 for 4, the Rapids, and you got to say they're in a bit of trouble now. They picked the fielder out beautifully there, I'm afraid, from his point of view.
Yeah, dangerous player, Adam Hose.
Absolutely.
If he gets going, just the one boundary, and out there nowhere near long enough for his team's sake, and he's gone in 8 deliveries for 8 runs, including just that one boundary. So halfway through the 5th over, who'd have thought this? 21 for 4, and still Yorkshire have used just the 2 bowlers.
Yes, a massive rebuild now for the Rapids. You don't normally say that in T20 cricket, but I'm afraid that's the case with them now. 21 for 4 and teetering.
So Tom Taylor, the new man, and on strike, and hits it straight to Moriarty. They're going to take on the misfield. It was, I say misfield, that's probably a bit harsh sounding. It bounced up awkwardly and hit him somewhere up around the shoulder region, didn't it? But he managed to stop the 4. They got through for 1.
Yeah, and yeah, Brooks and Taylor in the rebuilding stage for the Rapids now.
Now, we might see a change in tempo bowling-wise. Possibly. Tom Taylor's record against spin is not brilliant. It's at its best against right-arm fast-medium, such as the stuff that Dom Leach is delivering. That was pushed to Masood at mid-on, this time by Ethan Brooks. They took him on and they got through. You'll note, those who can see the pictures and those who can't, I'll tell you, that Shan Masood has got his right hand, his right wrist bandaged up, and he got an injury while batting at Northampton last week. Wasn't being hit by the ball, just something happened as he was gripping the bat and turning away from a delivery. Maybe they were suggesting a hyperextension type of an injury. Not sure what the actual diagnosis was, as this one is punched back by Taylor. Well done to Dom Leach, because he got something on that, and that just put a bit of doubt in the batter's minds. And at the moment, any doubt you can put in those players' minds, Graham, is probably beneficial to Yorkshire, because they've lost 4 already. They don't want to lose a 5th, and after 5 overs, they're 23 for 4.
Well, they're still wanting runs, obviously, and there was almost a mix-up there. I thought for a split second there could be a run-out situation, but they managed to get back, and there is a bowling change now, and it's going to be Matthew Revis from the Howard stand end.
Yep, the first change of the evening for the final power play over, and he's going to be bowling here to the debutant Ethan Brooks, who so far has 7 against his name. Nobody yet for Worcestershire has made it into double figures. Spread out in a ring seems to be the call at the minute. Don Better's gone to deep backward square leg, and the other fielder outside the circle for the final over is Jordan Thompson, who is at a backward point on the boundary edge, as Brooks drops one into the offside and gets through for a single.
Yeah, that's the way they're keeping things ticking over now, trying to take the singles and trying to put the fielders under pressure. As you say, it's the last over of the power play, so how are they going to play this one? You'd still think they're trying to look for boundaries.
Yeah, Matthew Revis, right arm over the wicket from the Howard stand end then. Bowling here to Tom Taylor, who, as I say, has got a pretty good record against right arm fast medium bowling. And there you go. That bears it out, because he's just pulled Revis for a 1 bounce 4 through cow corner. And to be fair, it deserved it. Didn't quite get the length right, and he was able to just stay back, wasn't he, on his on the crease line and pull up.
Absolutely, and it's a shot full of authority there, but it deserved it. It was a poor delivery, and 1 bounce 4. So in this last over of the power play, they get a boundary of the second ball of the over.
As we see propeller aviation over the top of the ground here at Headingley, and in comes Revis then. Bowling again to Taylor, who gets an inside edge on that past his stumps. He's not so far off, crashing it onto leg stump there. He didn't know much about it. He's managed to get through, beating Moriarty's throw, and picks up a single.
Yes, the timing wasn't there really, was it? I'm just wondering about this pitch. As I say, it's a little bit slow and maybe a little bit too paced. But after that 4, that wasn't a great shot.
Here's Revis. Oh, nearly a 5th wicket. He got under that one slightly, did Ethan Brooks, and Milan is standing about 4-5 strips away at extra cover. Bounced just short of him.
Ooh. Yeah, just seeing the replay, is sort of on the half volley, wasn't it? But it was just short of him, wasn't a chance.
Here's Revis again. This time Brooks tries the little scoop, and he's going to be a 1 bounce 4 over the head of Donovan Ferreira, the wicket keeper. So 2 boundaries in the over. Enterprising play by the youngster.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Those sort of shots are sometimes preconceived, aren't they? But he got the 4 because there's not many people fielding behind the keeper. And typical one-day shot, that, wasn't it? But very well executed.
So 33 for 4 now, the Worcestershire Rapids. Final ball of the power play is Revis to Brooks, who just strokes that out backward of point, and Jordan Thompson does the fielding. 10 from the over. It's very much the high scoring over of the contest so far, and Worcestershire just showing they've got a bit they earn a bit of respect, if you like, with that over, Graham.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the batsmen are now discussing things out in the middle, how they're going to play this. The problem, of course, is that the 4 wickets down in what's supposed to be a batsman's game. But credit to Yorkshire, they've done extremely well. They've taken the chances. On the whole, they've bowled very, very well.
Yeah, and Moriarty has been switched. So he bowled 2 overs, 2 for 12 from the Howard stand end, and he's now coming on at the Kirkstall Lane end to replace Dominic Leach. 2 men out are on the leg side, backward of square and at cow corner. Chance and gone. He's got a nick on this one, and Tom Taylor, the latest man to go. I suggested that his record said against spin he does struggle a little bit, and there you go. First ball following the Moriarty switch around, and a 5th Worcestershire wicket has gone. 33 for 5 now, the Worcestershire Rapids.
Unbelievable. Yes, he rocked back on the back foot to cut the ball, but he's just edged it to the keeper. Very little foot movement there. I'm watching the replay, and yep, straight into the keeper's gloves. Disappointing end for Taylor there. Out for 6. And Ferreira gets his second victim, 1 stumping and 1 catch.
Yep, so somebody has got to stand up here for the Rapids, or they're going to be done and dusted in no time. Nathan Smith, the new man out there for Worcestershire.
Well, he's a bowling all-rounder, isn't he?
Certainly got a job to do here with the bat, the Worcester number 20. First delivery from Moriarty, punched along the deck to the incoming Adam Lythe from long on. They get a single.
Yes, he's from New Zealand, Nathan Smith, and they'll be hoping that someone, somewhere, is going to get a big score for them.
Here comes Moriarty again then. Round the wicket still, the left armour. There was evidence of a little bit of turn, but not a lot. And it was Ethan Brooks who played a cut shot. Revis, I think the ball might have bounced awkwardly, bobbled awkwardly just before he picked it up, but he did well to keep his eye on that and recover and keep them to 1. He's outside the circle, square on the offside. 3 men outside the circle on the leg side. Outside the power play, of course, now. Next delivery. And Smith, again, struggling to just get a handle on what was going on there. And he's inside edged it into his own pads. Here's Moriarty again. And this time Smith goes back foot and just helps it on its way round the corner to Don Bess, whose flat throw finds the gloves of Ferreira. 1 run added. Nathan Smith certainly against leg spin. He's had his issues and tends to be better in the later overs, as you might imagine, because there won't have that many opportunities at this stage of an innings at number 7. As Revis does the fielding to that Ethan Brooks cut shot. 1 run again, 37 I should say, for the loss of 5 wickets. And we barely had time to breathe in those first 7 overs, Greg.
Absolutely, and that another good over from Moriarty, having switched ends. Started off at the Howard stand end, bowling 2 overs, and now he bowled that over from the Kirksall Road end, Kirksall Lane end, should I say, and another good over. The Worcestershire batsmen are just struggling to time this ball, and I think it's Chauhan now. Yes, it's going to be Jaffa Chauhan bowling for Yorkshire from the Howard stand end.
Yeah, so a bit of leg spin. Chauhan just making sure he's got everything set right with the field. A couple of looseners. They've gone with a square cover, as you might imagine, leg spinner to right-hander, as well as a long off Adam Lythe. They've also got a long on, a cow corner, and Dominic Bess is about 5 yards in from the boundary at deep backward square leg. 3 inside the ring on the offside, and then this man inside the ring, or the circle on the leg side, Dan Moriarty, because that one was dabbed around the corner by Brooks, who picked up a single. I mentioned Nathan Smith. Well, he has been dismissed by a leggy before in this form of the game. More comfortable against seam, but he's happy enough with that delivery because he's punched it out along the deck to cow corner for a single. They have to be very careful here, Worcestershire, with the 5 down.
Yeah, you've got to give Yorkshire a lot of credit. They've bowled well so far.
Ed Pollock is the next man in, followed by Hayden Walsh. Reverse sweep here, and he's chipped it over the infield, and that's a nicely played reverse sweep by Ethan Brooks, who's having a good time on his debut. Well, on a personal level at least, not really having a great time with his teammates, but he's got 19 to his name now, 43 for 5, halfway through the 8th.
Yeah, good shot. Again, a typical one-day shot, and 4 runs the result. Reverse sweep.
Now, Chauhan's just dropped a man out there for that shot as he comes in again. Oh, Brooks tries to sweep into the yawning gap on the onside, but it was wide of off stump, and he went further across to try and play it into that area.
Well, he went for a more conventional sweep there, didn't he, to a ball outside the off stump, and I think it turned a little bit and beaten outside the off stump.
And he comes again, 2 left in the 8th over. Chauhan in. Again, more evidence of turn. He's cut this one, but the man he positioned out there after the 4 is going to do the fielding, Jordan Thompson, and will keep them to 1.
Yeah, another relatively tight over from Chauhan. He's gone for a boundary, but so far on the 5 balls, just 7 off the over. Can he keep it to a dot ball in this final delivery?
44 for 5, he can.
Yeah.
He struck it well, didn't he, as well, Nathan Smith, but straight to Shan Masood at extra cover. Ferreira is having a quick word as soon as the over finishes, but Chauhan 1 over for 7. Perfectly acceptable in the modern game, even though he hasn't taken a wicket there. 44 for 5 after 8 overs.
Yes, so the Rapids still very much in trouble here at 44 for 5. And it's a question of still rebuilding, really. And we've still got Moriarty bowling from the Kirksall Lane end.
Yeah, this will be the completion of his set. 4th and last over for Moriarty. Left arm round the wicket, hammered away through extra cover. That's going to have too much for the legs of Matthew Revis to get across and stop it. That's a lovely shot, and probably, there ain't been so many of them, Graham, probably the shot of the night so far.
Yes, I think so. It had to be put away. It wasn't the best ball of the night, certainly. He'll be disappointed with that, especially 4 off the first ball. So Moriarty could be under a little bit of pressure here.
48 for 5, that was Brooks with the boundary, and he's on to 24, make that 25 now as he steps back and works one up to the incoming Adam Lythe from long on. Sensible play. Rotates the strike and gives it to Nathan Smith. On just the 3 so far, Smith. This will be his 6th delivery. He's got him. He's chopped it onto his stumps. Nathan Smith. He's gone for 3. And Worcestershire in all sorts of trouble here in the 9th over of the evening, because they are 49 for 6.
Well, you know, Moriarty just bowled the ball straight. It's as simple as that. And Smith moved over to the leg side and missed a straight ball off the back foot. And the ball clattered into the stumps.
Wow. Well, what a start.
Yeah, the ball hit the ball onto his pad, then onto the stumps. Yeah. A little bit unlucky there, I suppose, but the ball's not coming on this pitch, and I think the Worcestershire batsmen are struggling because of that. But Smith goes for 3, bowled Moriarty, and so 6 wickets down.
And Gareth Roderick is coming out at number 8. Then, and Moriarty, well, look at those. Talk about figures. 4 for 21 off 3.3. And here comes the left armour again. Sensible play first up from Roderick, who pushes it to lie. They're going to take on the... Oh, tell you what, had he hit direct, he could have been gone there at the non-striking end, Ethan Brooks. They took on the arm and they've got through 4-2.
I think he was. I'm looking at the replay. I think he'd have been home. That's good running by the Rapids batsman there to get 2 runs.
So Moriarty to Roderick again, steps right across outside off stump and works that to Jordan Thompson coming in from the cow corner boundary for another single. 52 for 6.
Yeah, it's nothing too aggressive. They're just working Moriarty around whenever they can.
Here he is again under the Headingley floodlights, floated up this time, and nicely played by Brooks, who just laid his bat on it and punched it up to Joe Root coming in from long off for a single. 9 overs complete, and 9 runs coming from that over. 53 for 6, and superb figures for Dan Moriarty. 4 overs, no maidens, 4 for 25.
Yeah, tremendous figures. He's bowled really well. He's attacked the stumps, and so far it's been a question of if you miss, I'll hit. He's pushed the ball through fairly quickly, as you would expect in this type of cricket. It looks like, is it Don Best coming on? Yes, Don Best coming on from the Howard stand end.
Yep, for over number 10. Off spin, of course, Don Bess. And first delivery. Ethan Brooks can't get it away past the bowler. He just dinked it into the onside, but Dom, quick as he is across the ground, was there to field off his own bowling. And he comes again. This time he's got it right, has Ethan Brooks, and works it out to the incoming Revis from the cowshot corner boundary. He will pick up 1.
Yeah, good feeling from Revis there. He came in very quickly to cut off any possibility of 2 runs. No doubt the Rapids are finding this very, very hard.
And 6 down. Just can't afford to make any more mistakes. Brooks is going well here, and he now becomes, if you like, the big wicket. He's on 27 as Roderick has just pushed a single into the leg side.
Yes, Brooks is the main man now for Yorkshire to get out, and he's on strike now.
Here's Bess to Brooks, who steps back and tries to cut into the offside, but misses out. Just 23 years of age from Solihull, Ethan Brooks.
That ball was pushed through very quickly by Bess.
Inexperienced player, but he's looking like he's had years and years of experience by comparison to some of the senior pros in the side, as he turns one in front of square on the leg side. Just 3 first-class matches and 25 List A matches under his belt prior to this one, and this his T20 debut at first team level for Worcestershire.
Well, considering the carnage that's been going on, I think Brooks has batted very, very well.
Yeah, 56 for 6, and we're almost at the halfway point of the innings. This final delivery of the first half sees Bess bowling it to Roderick, who stepped right across. Good shot, Gareth Roderick. He's got it away, backward of square leg. And that was very good placement between Moriarty up inside the circle and Chauhan, who's wider and outside it, and split the gap between the pair of them. So, at the halfway stage, cricketing history will record that Worcestershire were 60 for 6 in their innings, having chosen to bat first.
Yeah, I have to say that last ball there, which went for 4, it was the placement that made that. He placed it very, very well, did Roderick. And it looks like Chauhan coming on to bowl from the Kirchdale Lane end.
Yeah, switch around then. Jaffa Chauhan. 1 over at the Howard stand end. 1 over for 7. Just going to try his luck, the leggy, at this Kirchdale Lane end. Ooh, now then. Not sure if he got any bat on that or not, did he?
Yes, I think he did.
Yeah, he did. Just something Ethan Brooks for a moment. It looked like he might have been asking for LBW, Jaffa Chauhan, but he got it away very fine, and he picks up another 4.
Yeah, I think the ball was just going down leg anyway, and he got enough bat on that for 4 runs. He didn't get out the middle, but it's a welcome boundary for the Rapids.
So Brooks on 32. Half the Worcestershire runs so far. Chauhan goes full, and Brooks runs that one down to short third man. 1 run. Now, Gareth Roderick has got... he's not got a great record against spin bowling, although I've got to say, off spin and left arm spin. We've just seen the back of Dan Moriarty's left arm spin. His 4 overs are up. Not quite such an ordinary record against leg spin. We just saw him trying to play a reverse sweep. Or he did play a reverse sweep, he just couldn't get it past the field up inside the circle there. So Chauhan halfway through his 2nd over, gone for 12 so far. 65 for 6, a hush of anticipation. Can they get a 7th wicket here, Yorkshire? Well, not with that delivery, which has been hammered away out to extra cover. Very good piece of fielding by Matthew Revis, who covered plenty of ground there around the east side boundary to deny them the boundary and keep them to 2.
Yeah, great piece of fielding by Matthew Revis there. Saved a run undoubtedly with his fielding there.
Roderick on strike. Oh, that's not so far away. He's missed an attempt at a sweep, and he hasn't missed it. In fact, he's got something on it because the umpire Shanmugam hasn't signalled.
Yeah, it came off
the 1 run. Roderick must have been just a bottom edge, perhaps.
It's a bottom edge. Yeah.
68 for 6. Last ball of the 11th. 8 from the over so far. Chauhan is in. That's aerial. That's a lovely shot. That really is a very, very good shot indeed from Ethan Brooks, who gets 4 runs for it, lofting it over cover. He looks a fine young player, this lad, from the evidence of what we've seen so far tonight. 37 to him now out of 72 for 6 after 11 overs.
Yes, as you say, a very good shot. He knew exactly what he was doing there. He lifted the ball over the infield, and a nice boundary there for Brooks. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this young man. It's Matthew Revis coming on now from the Howard stand end. Brooks,
our brother of Henry Brooks, of course, of Warwickshire, and a former Warwickshire man himself. He's had to go down the road for an opportunity. Plenty of rivalry down there between the Pears and the Bears, just like there is up here between Yorkshire and Lancashire. And it's going to be Matthew Revis to continue then for over number 12. In comes Rev then from the Howard stand end, bowling to Roderick. Oh, straight-ish delivery. It's over leg stump. I think he might have got something on it, has he? No.
No, it's
in fact,
a wide.
Neil Mallander's signalling a wide. Dear me, there is just no margin whatsoever, is there, for error there. If that was a millimetre outside leg stump, that was about it.
Yeah, but that's what the regulations say. It's a wide. And so that's the 3rd wide of the innings.
They've been pretty tidy in that respect. Revis is in, it's straight. Brooks turns it into the leg side, and Revis has to go and field it himself off his own bowling, because all four fielders in the leg side are miles away outside the circle when Brooks is on strike. It's now back with Gareth Roderick.
Yeah, with this field is trying to bowl stump to stump, isn't he? Although,
yeah. Now we've got a change here.
Yeah.
Leach has been sent down to third man on the boundary edge, just down to our right. Jordan Thompson is pretty much bang on square at point, and they still have a cow corner. Dom Bess, I think it is, and Chauhan is at deep backward square leg. Revis in and straight and worked out towards Dom Bess, who comes in from cowshot corner and does the fielding. Nicely played by Gareth Roderick. So this pair came together with a score on 49, and therefore already this is easily the best partnership of the match so far at 27. But time is beginning to tick on the Worcester Rapids. In the 12th over here, Revis in again, and using his feet, Brooks has turned this one around the corner, and it's fielded down to our left by Moriarty at fine leg, 1 run.
Yes, he went for a leg side shot, but he got it very, very fine. I don't think he meant it to go there, but he's got 1 run for it.
4 for 25, Moriarty the feature so far. Dominic Leach 2 for 10, bowled really well early doors, and that's got the Vikings T20 challenge for 2024 off to a good start. Chance here for a catch. Chauhan. Well, he's going to regret now, isn't he, being 5 yards in from the boundary, because that one dropping just over his head. I can hear all the junior coaches in the world who say to their fielders in junior matches, get yourself out all the way. Just 1 bounce from that nicely played flick off his legs by Gareth Roderick, and that is 4 runs. He's staying put, so it's clearly something they've decided they're doing anyway, and if the batter takes his chance and gets away with it, that's okay with them. 4 more here, it's full, and it's just outside off stump, and good use of feet from Roderick to flat bat that one through the covers for another boundary. Yeah,
that was a really good shot, and the ball sped off the bat there with the extra cover boundary. So this is a bit of a recovery by the Rapids. They certainly needed it, didn't they?
They did. 36 now the partnership. Another wicket would be handy for the Vikings at this stage. The Rapids beginning to recover. Short ball pulled by Roderick out towards Chauhan again. This time it bounces once in front of him. They're going to take it on the arm for a second here, and disappointingly they get back for 2. He had the ball in his hand and they took him on, and he hasn't been able to deal with that. So 2 runs, 38 the partnership now, 87 for 6 Worcestershire after 12 overs, I should say.
Yeah, that wasn't a great piece of fielding by Chauhan. They got 2 runs from that delivery. It should only been 1.
We have a change of ball into the Yorkshire Vikings, coming into the attack from the Kirkstall lane
Jordan
end.
Thompson.
Jordan Thompson.
Yeah, Jordan Thompson is coming on from the Kirkstall lane end. Jordan took 20 wickets for Yorkshire in this competition last year. Yorkshire's leading wicket taker in this form of cricket last year. So can he do work the oracle again, Jordan Thompson? They'll be bowling to Brooks, who's been batting very, very well, who's on the 39.
So we've got a third man, fine leg, deep backward square, cow corner, and a cover sweeper, squarish at cover, Matthew Revis. As Jordan Thompson, right arm over the wicket, comes in from the Kirkstall lane end. Slow bouncer to start with. You could see he'd taken the pace off that one. Even I could from this distance, as Brooks pulled it round the corner for 1. Not the best of return throws from out there by Adam Lyth, but he puts his hand up in acknowledgement of that to Donovan Ferreira. Now, the tap has just been turned on a bit more by Worcestershire in the last 2 overs. Since the halfway stage, they've had overs worth 12 and 15, the best 2 overs they've had in the match so far. So this pair starting to play with a bit more confidence out there. The stand worth 39. Short ball over the top of the stumps by Jordan Thompson. Another good slow bouncer. He's used a lot of slow balls in the time we've seen him play T20 cricket. Of course, he's got all his experiences in the 100 and other competitions around the world as well now. And he certainly fooled Gareth Roderick there, who stepped right across outside off stump to try and pull it, but then, well, pretty much couldn't read the pace of it, could he? Because he couldn't get a shot away. So 2 dots so far. Now he goes full and roundabout leg stump, and that's pushed to Joe Root, who's inside the circle at mid-on. So 1 off 3.
Yes, a good start to his over by Jordan Thompson, and is using, you know, his variations very well. The slow ball and the one that he puts into the pitch.
Here he is again. Again, an element of pace off about that one once more, and that was dropped into the offside by Brooks with a single, taking him to 41.
Again, the timing wasn't there from the batsman, was it? It's not really coming on this surface, and I think Thompson could be the one to take advantage of this, really, because so far he's bowled this over pretty well. 2 balls to go in the over.
Here he comes then. And stepping right across this time, Roderick, who's trying to get that away into the leg side. The Western Terrace was possibly his aim, but Thompson was smart enough to follow him there. It's hit the body somewhere, and it's a leg bye. So far so good. Can he get out of the over here, Jordan Thompson? He's conceded just the 3, plus the leg bye coming off that previous delivery. He turns and leaves us behind, and coming in and bowling now to Brooks, who's angled that one down to 3rd man, and it's going to be 1 more run. So a really good start by Jordan Thompson. 1 over for 4. 5 off the over in total, and with 7 overs remaining, Worcestershire are 92 for the loss of 6 wickets.
Do you know, that was a delightful little dab shot down to 3rd man by Brooks, who's on 42. It just goes to show you don't have to be hitting boundaries all the time. You can still play authentic cricket shots, and a nice touch, nice timing there from Brooks. And Dom Bess is coming back on now, and he's bowling from the Howard stand end.
So Yorkshire packing the team with spinners tonight, if you include Messrs Root and Lythe, who are also in there, but 3 specialists, and one of them's got a wicket here. Oh. Dom Bess, has he? Yes, he has. David Milan, I think, takes the catch at cover. He doesn't want to go, Ethan Brooks, but the finger is raised by Neil Mallender, and go he must. 92 for 7. He doesn't like it, Ethan Brooks, but he's got to go. He's gone for a very good 42. And with it now, Yorkshire have got a real opportunity to try and wrap this up early.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, Brooks wasn't convinced that ball carried. He hung around and very slowly walked off when the finger went up. But a good catch. Milan taking the catch, so that's the wicket Yorkshire wanted. Ethan Brooks out for 42. I have to say, in the context of this game so far, JD, that's a very good innings.
It's a brilliant innings in the context of the game, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
With only one other player over 20, and the partnership there was worth 43, head and shoulders above anything else that Worcestershire have so far been able to produce. But given the way that this pitch is playing, I mean, any side worth their salt should be able to knock off a low score like this, whatever way the pitch is playing. But given the way it is playing, it might not be quite as easy as we might think. Worcestershire have certainly shown that it's not that easy to read, as Ed Pollock, the new man out there, turns his first delivery into the leg side. The first left-hander we've seen all night, apart from Moriarty as a bowler. And he's got a flat bat away out to the covers for a single second ball. So they've got to make sure they bat the full 20 out here.
I'm just going to say that, JD, what do you do as a Rapids player now? You know, you're 7 wickets down for not all that many. But you've got to see your overs out now and just see what you can get.
Roderick, 23 against his name, steps away, cuts this one firmly. Milan dives and can't reel it in, but Jordan Thompson's there for some backup and returns the throw, and they've got back for 2. Good running between the pair of them.
Yeah, very good running. Absolutely. And as I said, if you can't get your boundaries, then that's what you've got to try and do. Put pressure on the fielders, get your ones, get your twos.
Here's Bess again, and this one. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone again. Milan with another catch, a second of the over. Well, he stepped away to leg and cut that one, but he got underneath it. And a dive to his right for David Milan, and 2 big wickets in an over. Roderick gone for 25 off 16 balls, including 3 fours, and Worcestershire are tottering here at 95 for 8.
Would you believe it, the 2 batsmen that were making a bit of a revival for the Rapids out in the same over.
The new batter making his way to the middle for the Worcestershire Rapids, Hayden Walsh.
Both Roderick and Brooks, who were, you know, we're just saying that they're just maybe turning things around a little bit, and in the same over, they're out to Dom Bess. And it's Hayden Walsh coming out now for the Rapids.
Yep, Hayden Walsh has got a huge job to do here in combination with Ed Pollock, and it's not like Ed hasn't had runs before. He's got a highest of 77 in T20 cricket, and average is just shy of 20, so don't discount him from your thoughts. But Hayden Walsh, another left-hander, so an all lefty combi out there at this moment in time. Hayden Walsh wouldn't be quite so illustrious as you'd imagine coming in at number 10, but he has got a highest of 30, and on a night like this, a 30 would be gold dust as far as Worcestershire are concerned. He's just flicked his first delivery back at Dom Bess. And welcome applause for Bess, because he too has joined the party. Then 2 overs, 2 for 10. So far, Graham, 3, 4, 5, 6 overs of seam and 8 overs of spin has been the way it's gone, and that's no surprise when you look at the team selection.
Absolutely, and the spinners have certainly done their job, and it just goes to show that there is certainly, you know, a place for spinners in this type of cricket. You know, batsmen find them hard to get away, as I say, I think this pitch is a little bit slow, and that's suiting the spinners. Yeah, Chauhan's coming back to bowl from the Kirchdale Lane end.
Yep, the one spinner so far not to have taken a wicket. 2 overs for 19. Leg spin. Played some national counties cricket with Buckinghamshire previously before Yorkshire signed him, and of course was an ever-present, as Graham mentioned, I think, in this competition for Yorkshire last year. Here he is again. First delivery from the Kirkstall Lane end in this little spell. He's punched along the ground to Adam Lyth, coming in from long off for a single to Ed Pollock. And if they had to make sure they batted all the way through previously, then with just the 2 wickets remaining and all this time, 5 overs and 5 balls to go. I know that's not a long time in a long form game, but in T20 cricket, more than a quarter of the innings to go and just your 2 wickets remaining.
Yeah, they've got to see out these overs now in this form of cricket.
Chauhan in, and that's pulled wide
good
of
shot.
long on. It's a really good shot by Hayden Walsh. Good placement. Joe Root is down to our left at long on, but he had no chance of getting across to that. And of course, leg spinner at left-hander, effectively the same as a right-hander against an off-spin, so he can hit with the ball. If the ball is orthodox, with the spin turning into him. He's got underneath this one. Root underneath it. 9th wicket has gone. And that is the end of Hayden Walsh. Dearie me. Straight down the throat of Joe Root. That was not clever and not required by the Rapids. And Walsh has gone for 4. And the Rapids 100 for 9.
I think that's a coach killer, really, you know, JD. It wasn't great cricket by the batter there. Hayden Walsh out for 4 and giving Joe Root catching practice at long on, straight to him, didn't have to move. So Worcestershire down to their last pair. The number 11 is coming out, Adam Finch, but we know that Finch can hit a long ball. Yorkshire have certainly got experience of that in the past. And 100 for 9. Worcestershire Rapids.
Yep, and Jaffa Chauhan comes to the party then with his first wicket of the evening. It's going to be Chauhan then to the right-handed Adam Finch. Left-hand, right-hand combi. I mentioned that he broke Yorkshire's hearts last year because they looked booked for the points at New Road until he came in late on. He's just got an inside edge on one first ball for a single. He was not out 30 in 10 balls, Adam Finch, down at New Road last year, so do not discount him at all. Coming in at number 10 that day. And the unfortunate bowler, I think, was Matthew Fisher in that final over. When Finch did all the damage, hitting it long from what I can remember in the V. And he's at the non-striking end at this moment in time as Pollock just pecks at one wide of off stump and pushes it straight to short extra cover. I can't remember a match in which the opposition have potentially been bowled out for such a low score during the last half dozen seasons. Yorkshire themselves have. There's an appeal for LBW here, but it felt like it was going down, and maybe that's why umpire Shanmugam has said it is not out. So 101 for 9 at the end of the 15th over, 6 runs from it, but importantly, once again, Yorkshire with a wicket. And I mentioned that had the 2 best overs, Worcestershire, in 11 and 12, when they got 12 and 15 runs respectively. The last 3 overs, 5, 3 and 6.
Yeah, Yorkshire pulled it back, haven't they? Well, not that they ever sort of lost control, but they've certainly got into the Rapids batters here. 9 wickets down with Pollock and Finch at the crease, and Don Best to continue bowling his off spinners from the Howard stand end. No doubt he'll be firing these in to Adam Finch, who's on strike, the number 11.
Yeah, so he took chances in that last over last year because that's all he could do. He was forced to play it. Different situation completely here, batting first with only this 1 wicket left and wanting to use every possible delivery. Just punches one out into the offside, and Milan fields at cover. We've seen David Milan take 2 catches in the covers already in this match this evening, and both of them coming off this man Don Best, who gives a crowd catch there.
Bump ball.
Patted back into the deck. 101 for 9 still. Finch, very similar, punches it into the deck and back to Best. So this will do as far as the Vikings are concerned, getting through his over quickly. And in addition to that, he is not conceding a run so far. 2 for 10 for Best.
This could be out.
Chance here.
That's out.
Run
Surely,
out.
yes.
That's it. They've wrapped him up. That is unbelievable. That's a ridiculous run to take at this stage of the game, surely. And Ed Pollock has been run out, taking on the arm. A rapid fire throw back in. Ferreira took off the bails, and the Worcestershire Rapids, well, a real head scratcher, Graham Orange. The first match of the competition, and they've been routed for 101.
They've been routed, and that epitomises this innings, that very last wicket, the run out, because it was sheer panic on behalf of the batters. I mean, obviously, sometimes when you have lower order batsmen, they can be dodgy runners. But I mean, there was no run there, straight to the fielder, and quite easily run out. And so that's so far it's Yorkshire's game. And can they now do the business, wrap things up, and knock these runs off? You'd like to think so. Just look at 1 or 2 of the wickets that are falling on the replay now, and it's not been a great batting display by the Rapids, but credit to the Yorkshire bowlers. They've done the job, they've fielded well on the whole, and they've got the rewards. And 101 all out, so the Vikings did 102 to win in their 20 overs, just over, of course, 5 and over, which you've got to say shouldn't be too difficult. Although we have seen instances in that innings where the pitch is fairly slow, the timing's not been great, but Yorkshire can really take their time and work things out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially when you think, JD, that Yorkshire, you've got to say they've got a very, very strong batting lineup. You'd be very disappointed now if Yorkshire don't win this game with this batting lineup.
Yep, that would be, you would think, their strength coming into this match. But as we've seen, if one team can be bowled out for 101, then Why shouldn't the other team be bowled out for 101? Well, we'll find out if Worcestershire are good enough to bowl them out for 100 or fewer to win the match, of course. But 15.4 overs and all out for 101 is kind of criminal, really, in cricketing terms. Dom Leach, 3 overs, no maidens, 2 for 10 is the way that he finished, and that was a really good up-front performance by him. Dan Moriarty, we said, 4 overs, 4 for 25, superb. Matthew Revis, 2 overs for 25. He came on, unfortunately for him, in the one partnership of any real substance. Jaffa Chauhan finished with 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 25. Don Bess, with that run out at the end, while he was bowling men, he finished with 2.4 overs, no maidens, but very, very good figures of 2 for 10. And Jordan Thompson came on and bowled a really good tight over as well, 1 over for 4. There were 8 extras, just 3 wides and 2 leg byes. 101 all out then, Worcestershire. So Yorkshire 102 to win it. We'll take a quick breather while the players do, as I try and get my breath back. And we'll be back with you as soon as they come out for the Yorkshire innings.
Headingley, please welcome back out to the field the Worcestershire Rapids.
Well, welcome back from Headingley for part 2 of this opening Vitality T20 Blast fixture for both the Yorkshire Vikings and the Worcestershire Rapids for 2024. And what a whirlwind start it was as well. Graham Orange and myself, Jonathan Doidge, with you. Well, Graham will be back in a few moments' time when he's got his cup of tea. In fact, here he comes in now. There you go, folks, live streaming on the Yorkshire live stream and here on the BBC as well. Graham is back alongside, and what an extraordinary first half, I think you've got to say, because I don't think any of us expected that. We're usually seeing 200s here at Headingley. We've seen half that from Worcestershire, and a bit of a head scratcher of an innings. And I think all you can really say is that you've got to give a lot of congratulations to the way that Yorkshire held it together there with the ball and didn't just get 3 or 4 wickets and then let it go. Yes, Worcestershire put together a very healthy stand of 43 when Ethan Brooks was out there with Gareth Roderick, and 42 for Brooks himself, 25 for Roderick, but not a single other Worcestershire player making it into double figures. That doesn't mean it's going to be a cakewalk for Yorkshire. It may be, but who knows how this pitch is going to play as the evening wears on. And certainly Worcestershire seemed to find some difficulties, not just in what they found from the Yorkshire bowling, but maybe as well, things might have not have been as easy out there as they may first have looked. And we're not down at pitch level, but maybe the odd one has stuck in the pitch or something like that. Adam Lyth and David Milan are opening the batting then for Yorkshire, and Lyth with that first push into the leg side gets them going. Josh Cobb is the first man on with the ball at the Howard stand end for the Rapids.
Yeah, I think they're trying to emulate Yorkshire here, the Rapids, by opening with a spinner and with Josh Cobb. But this is a game for Yorkshire to lose now, isn't it? It's a very small total.
Let's be optimistic then, Graham. Eh?
Well, yeah, it's for them to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got themselves into a very strong position. Cobb off spin round the wicket at the left-handed Milan, of course, who's been #1 player in the world in this discipline on a couple of occasions. He's not playing red ball cricket at the moment to concentrate on this, and he drives that third ball, having played another dot for his second, his first, into the offside. So 1 without loss as Cobb just turns away because Milan wasn't prepped and ready. Now he nudges one into the gap through mid-wicket, and Adam Finch is round to field, and they pick up 1. But of course, run rate. I mean,
it
just so
it doesn't
low
really matter. I mean,
for this form of the game.
No, they can afford to chew up a few balls now, can't they? They know what they have to get.
102 needed from 120 at the outset. As Lythe, sensible, just works it out to one of the two men outside the circle. He's on the cow corner boundary over by the western terrace, where you may hear some partying going on, I think it's fair to say, over in the distance there.
And not for the first time on the western terrace.
No, and certainly not the last, as Milan tries to part the gap in the offside between two fielders, D'Oliveira being one of them, but he dived to his right and parried it, and they got a single. So it's an absolutely fine start when you're chasing 101. It's 4 without loss after the first over, with both batters on 2 runs apiece.
Absolutely, and the only possible way that the Rapids can win this game is to take wickets. They have to take wickets, so they've got to have a fairly attacking field. I mean, obviously, in the first 6 overs, in the power play, there can be no more than 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. But they have to attack Yorkshire. I mean, that's the only thing they can do now, just attack and try and take wickets.
Opening the bowling from the Coastal Lane end for the Worcestershire Rapids, Nathan Smith.
Now this is the New Zealander Nathan Smith, and right arm over from the Coastal Lane end, and it's Dawid Milan, the left hand. Well, they're both left-handers, aren't they? Facing up.
Yep. Just taking his guard. Let's just have a look at the profiles of these two when we get the opportunity, which is my speak for when my laptop moves things on. We'll do that in a moment, because first up here from Smith, it's going to be 4 wide of long off. And Milan hitting that one on the up, but managing to get it wide of the fielder up inside the circle. And so, first boundary of the Yorkshire innings, 8 without loss. And both these players, as you would imagine, are pretty good during the power play overs. Certainly, Adam Lythe, of the nearly 4,000 power play and of the nearly 4,000 T20 runs he's scored, over half of them have been in the early overs. Okay, as you'd expect, you might say, given the fact that he's been up the top of the order throughout his career. He runs, Milan runs one down to 3rd man.
Yeah, this is all they have to do. They've taken a couple of singles that they've hit the boundary, and that's all they've got to do now. But interesting, you know, JD, how do Yorkshire go about this? You know, do they just... They know what they have to get, just, you know, take it relatively easy and get the runs, or do they say, well, look, this is the first innings, as it were, and let's blast them? It's going to be interesting.
Yep, Nathan Smith is in, and Lythe runs it into the leg side. He's got 1. They're not going to go back for the second. I'm not suggesting that either of this pair are slow when I say this, but these are 2 of the veteran players in the Yorkshire side, aren't they?
Yeah. England players, former England players.
Yep. Milan's record in the power play actually not as good as Adam Lythe's. He has tended to score more heavily at the death, and his innings often go like that, don't they? They're the antithesis of quite often of the modern T20 knock, as he builds things up gradually and really does go haywire towards hell for leather towards the end, as he punts one there through mid-wicket. That's a bit of an Adam Lythe impression, really, because he tucked his front knee up a la the man at the other end. Didn't get it as square as Adam often does with one of his signature shots, but what he did do was get it in the gap, and there's a big gap through there. Timed it well, 4 runs.
Yeah, he hit it well in front of square, so he had lots of time there. The ball was too short, and Lythe is too good a batsman not to take advantage of that.
And he comes again, Smith, straight delivery, treated with respect by Milan. No need to do anything silly, with 14 scored off the first 11 deliveries. I'll give you the progressive score for Worcestershire in their innings. For comparison purposes, they were exactly the same, 4 runs as Yorkshire off the first over. They'd lost a wicket already. By the end of over number 2, they were already 10 for 2. So the rot had pretty quickly begun to set in. Smith, final ball of over number 2. In he comes. Would have been a wide, I think, actually, if Milan had stepped
It's
away
a no
and left
ball.
it, but it's a no ball either way, and he's dropped it into the leg side for a single, and Worcestershire cannot afford anything like this, can they? So that's going to be the first free hit of the season here at Headingley, in men's cricket at least, because it's a no ball, and Adam Lyth is going to get the free hit. David Milan's probably just having a word with him right now, saying, you were always lucky, you.
But when you get a low score, that's the last. It's almost criminal to bowl a no ball, isn't it?
So 3 from that delivery, 17 without loss, and still the final legit ball of the over to bowl, and it's a free hit. Short ball. Lyth makes the most of this one then by just flicking it over the man who's up inside the circle at short fine leg, and picks up a welcome boundary for himself. 21 without loss then after 2. They're already in front.
Yes, Lyth helped himself there. It was a bit of a buffet ball. Helped himself. It was short, going down leg, and he just hit it to behind square on the leg side boundary, and that wasn't a great over by the bowler. And
No.
Adam Finch is coming on now from the Howard stand end.
Yeah, Adam Finch. Well, very useful bowler on his day. He's going to need to be more than useful this evening, and who knows, if he could grab a couple of wickets in this over or early on, then that might start to put a few doubts in Yorkshire minds. But that was a really good second over as far as the hosts were concerned. 17 runs coming from it. So Finch from the Howard stand end with a good length ball first up to Milan, who opens the face and runs it out to deep backward point, and they pick up a single.
Yeah, I mean, Yorkshire don't have to do anything silly here, do they? Just tick along and pick up the odd boundary and get your ones, your twos. It's there's no real pressure on the batters now, is there? 22 without loss.
Yeah, Finch has picked up wickets early in the piece before. He's in and bowling here to Lyth, who turns that into the leg side, and they pick up a single.
Yeah, a bit of pace on that ball there, and but Lyth negotiated it and got the single. So Milan is on strike now. I mean, they've got a slip in place, which they have to do. They have to take wickets.
Yeah, Lyth, Finch 14 wickets, I should say, in 17 previous T20 matches. He's pushed for 1 down to deep backward square there by Milan, and those wickets, well, quite a few have come in the first half of the innings, but he has been expensive in the later overs, Adam Finch, hence presumably getting him on at this time in the power play. And he's wide of off stump with this one, and beautiful square drive by Adam Lyth. Oh, that's well, he makes I'm going to say a bit of a meal of the fielding, but to be fair, it's a little bit dodgy down there for fielding, isn't it, with the wicket ends, the practice strips, and it probably will kick on a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was a good piece of fielding, actually, considering the conditions down there.
Hayden Walsh it was, who made the ground around to his left, and he's just dropped his trousers, good lord. Just to make sure he's still got some leg there. I think you're okay, Hayden. 26 without loss, 2 to come in the third. Lyth on strike, and he's just chopped that down into his pad, and Milan yelps no.
And
So
rightly
Lyth on,
so.
yeah, Lyth on 10, Milan on 14. I mean, what tremendous records this pair have got. David Milan, as I mentioned, has been top of the world on a couple of occasions, averages over 32.5 with the highest of 117, over 9,000 T20 career runs. Massive experience and quality.
It must be galling for the Rapids when these two batsmen, Yorkshire batsmen, come out to open the innings.
And Lyth gets underneath one here, but there is no fielder out at Cow Corner. 1 bounce, and that is 4 runs. Didn't get a hold of it anywhere near 100%, but it was good enough for a boundary. And after 3 overs, they're going at 10s here, 30 without loss.
Yes, he didn't really time that, but he knew exactly where he wanted to put it. and he got his reward there. This is 30 without loss chasing, well, they need 102 to win. So Yorkshire, to say they're in the driving seat is a massive, massive understatement.
Highest of 161 famously, of course, Adam Lyth. He's played 191 matches, talking veteran status. Well, he's just an inexperienced young pup by comparison to David Milan, who's played 332, or this is 332nd T20 match.
Yeah, it's Tom Taylor coming on now for the Rapids, bowling from the coastal lane end, and he's bowling to David Milan.
Taylor, right arm seam, ball of good length around about middle and leg, and just helped on its way into a big gap in the leg side by Milan, and that's all it takes. It's just going to take sensible play, and well, these two, given the weight of matches they've played, don't need me to be telling them that, they could, I mean, they could really just have a nice little knock here for whatever, 16, 17 overs, cruise across the line and have a red inker apiece, really, well, if they play sensibly here.
If they play sensibly, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to do that.
As Taylor is in, saying, you say these things, and then a thick inside edge from Milan. It does beat Matthew Waite, who missed it, got a hand on it, I think, just inside the circle at short fine leg, but it'll do for 4.
Yeah, I think Waite should have stopped that, really.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Maybe,
he did have
a bit
yeah,
harsh. Yeah,
to dive to his right.
Yeah,
Certainly
yeah,
wasn't quite the aberration that we saw from Dom Leach a little bit earlier on.
Correct. It didn't go quite where Milan wanted it to go, but he's got 4 runs.
So he's on to 20. Third ball of the 4th over. Another full-length delivery, worked into the leg side. It's a beautiful shot by David Milan. Now, play that in any form of the game and you've got me purring. That's a fantastic shot. He just leant on that, wide of long on, and it's raced away despite the attentions of 2 fielders towards the northeast corner boundary. 4 runs and 40 without loss already.
Timing and placement, and as you say, that's a proper cricket shot, not just a T20 shot. There's still room in this game, in this format, for those shots, and especially when Yorkshire are only chasing a relatively small total.
2018 champions, the Worcestershire Rapids, but they're doing it tough here at Headingley this evening as Milan tries to, well, he tried to hit that one somewhere down Cardigan Road, which is, for those who don't know the area that well, over the back of the East Stand, and somewhere out beyond the Boundary Hotel, but he missed it. One of those, when you pick them up, they look lovely, but if you don't, they look a little bit more like ugly, don't they?
And that was the ugly part.
Yeah, 62 more to win. Not that there's any rain around, but just to give you an idea of where we're at, DLS reckons Yorkshire should be 24 at this stage, and they're 40, and Milan drops it into the offside, takes on Finch for the single, and he got through comfortably. 25 to him, sensible play.
Well, it was, because it put the pressure on the fielder there, and he misfielded, so in the end it was an easy run. So Yorkshire doing all the things right so far, 41 for none.
Lyth on 14, the junior partner in this partnership, but he has only so far faced 8 deliveries for those 14 runs. Milan has faced twice as many for his 25. And here comes Taylor once again, this time to Lyth, who steps back and cuts. Out there in the covers is Walsh, and they're happy to just stroll through for a single to complete the 4th over. With another 12 runs scored there, they've gone 4, 17, 9 and 12. A much, much better start than Worcestershire. 42 without loss, plays 20 for 3 at the same stage.
Yeah, it's the second over of the innings by Nathan Smith that went for 17 that's really ruined things for Worcestershire, really.
Don't forget, of course, I'm saying that they could cruise around this, and they could do. They've got to make sure they win first and foremost, but net run rate, qualification for quarter-finals and all that comes into this, or may do later on. It certainly has done with Yorkshire in the past if they have a bad trot of form as this competition wears on. So it's in your interest to do and your best to finish it, you know, as early as you can in that respect, as first ball of Finch's latest over from the Howard Stand end is run by Lyth down to short third man, and there's no run.
Yes, I mean, obviously the run rate so far is very, very good. But as you say, first and foremost, let's, Yorkshire need to win the game.
And they need a further 59 to do so in 15 overs and 5 balls. Adam Finch making his way in once again, right arm over, ball short of length, and Lyth steps back and cuts to backward point for 1 run. Seems like an eternity, even though it was only on Monday that I was watching Adam Lyth and the red ball team down at Northamptonshire. Back there, of course, again on Sunday. Here's a commercial for tomorrow night for those both watching and listening, because I'm going to be bringing you ball-by-ball commentary with Marcus Townend from down at Grace Road, Leicester. Leicestershire versus Yorkshire in this T20 Blast. As Finch comes in, and that's sliced away and caught. First wicket has gone, Milan for 25, and he has been caught by Nathan Smith, a short third man just inside the circle. And so the Vikings are 43 for 1.
Yes, a big thick outside edge, playing an attacking shot, Milan, and that was it's a very wide delivery, and it's gone straight to a short third man who didn't have to move to take the catch. So disappointing end there for Milan.
Yep, and Finch, who I said was effective in these early overs, more effective than he is later on, has done what he does and picked up a wicket, always handy. So Shan Masood, the Yorkshire and Pakistan Test captain, of course, as well. He's got that, he will have that right hand strapped underneath his glove. He had something on there as they were out there in the field. As I say, not 100% sure what the injury is, but they were talking hyperextension type injury from when he was actually out there batting in a championship game last weekend. Got 100 down there, so he's certainly a man in form in that form of the game.
Yes, but whatever niggle he's got, it can't be too serious, otherwise he wouldn't be playing tonight, would he?
Tough lads, these lads.
Aye, they are.
Finch. Ooh, Masood plays and misses his first delivery. They've put a slip in place for him as well here, interestingly, but as you mentioned earlier on in the piece, they've got to attack and try and take wickets. That's their only real hope of nicking this one.
Yeah, good delivery there from Finch, and it's but not great feet movement by Shan Masood, playing and missing outside the off stump.
Finch in again. Masood opens the face, runs it out down to third man, and that fired back in from out in the deep by Head and Walsh, and they pick up a single.
Yeah, another sort of thick outside edge there from Shan Masood this time. So
final ball of the fifth. At the end of the fifth in their innings, Worcestershire were 23 for 4. Here's Finch to Lyth, who hits that one slightly on the up, out into the covers, and they and fielded there by Walsh, and there is no run. So 44 for 1 at the end of the fifth over. Slightly thrown there because there is a number 88 out there who's not listed on the team sheet as a number 88.
No. Substitute fielder.
There we go. We'll try and sort that one out. In the meantime, that commercial for coverage tomorrow night, albeit with Marcus Townend at Grace Road, Leicester. It will be a BBC audio service commentary because all counties are splitting for their own streaming. So if you want to watch the pictures but listen to the Yorkshire version of the commentary, you'll have to do a bit of syncing, folks, if you want to do that. Otherwise, you'll get my colleague Richard Ray and his Leicestershire colleagues on their stream as the first ball of this over by Nathan Smith is punched up to mid-off to Adam Finch. There's no run. So if you want to hear the Yorkshire version of the commentary, you can do that on BBC Sport website and app. We'll be on air from about 5 minutes before the first ball is bowled. And if you obviously want to watch the pictures as well, if you're not travelling, then you'll have to do a bit of syncing between the two. As that's a lovely shot by Masood. That really is a beautiful shot, and the shot of a man in form, and the sort of shot he was playing in red ball cricket at the weekend for a living.
But chasing this low score, you needn't be too funky, need you, as a batter? You can just play proper cricket, you know, with a straight bat, and that was a lovely drive through the offside for 4 by the left-hander Shan Masood. They've got the luxury of doing that now, JD, haven't they?
They have. He's on to 5. Partnership is worth the same. Smith none for 21 into his second over, and he's in again, and takes the pace off this one, and Masood doesn't totally read it and just lobs it really into the leg side, and there's no run. Just looking round for that number 88. Rob Jones it is.
Okay. Sporting
number 88, former Lancashire man, out there as a substitute fielder by the looks of things. As Masood drives that one firmly, and Brett D'Oliveira can't reel it in. He's just pointing at the wicket ends, which are a little bit worn from previous matches. Maybe just a little bit of kick off the pitch there.
Yes, well, Nathan Smith will be hoping that his this over goes a little bit better. Well, it is so far than his first over, when he conceded 17 runs.
Here is Smith coming in to bowl to Lyth, who steps back, and he's timed that one really well, timed the pants off it, to be honest, but unfortunately for him, he hit it straight along the deck to Ethan Brooks, who was at deep backward point, so he'll only get the 1 for the sort of shot that mere mortals like us would have said, that's got to be worth 4. Got to be worth 4.
But that's a trademark Lyth shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he plays it so well.
So 1 ball left in the power play. The 50 is up. It took Worcestershire 8 overs and 4 balls to reach that. Yorkshire have done it in 5.5. Smith in again. Oh, now then, this has been lobbed away into the offside. Finch trying to make ground on it and take a catch, but it bounces just to his right. So Masood getting away with a bit of an airy-fairy there. End of the 6th over then. And certainly Vikings fans will be feeling comfortable at this moment in time at the very least. 7 off the over, 51 for 1.
Yes, as you say, it's a bit of an airy-fairy shot there from Masood. But, you know, luck is with Yorkshire tonight so far, and that sort of epitomised it. So, yeah, the umpiring is signalling it's the end of the power play, or the next power play, if you like. We've had 6 overs where no more than 2 can be outside the circle.
Good evening to Richard Ray, my BBC Leicester colleague, who's clearly listening in. And after my commercial for listening to the Yorkshire version, if you want to listen to it across the streaming pictures, because he'll be on doing the Leicestershire commentary tomorrow night, he says, but they would at least get another Yorkshireman. Richard, of course, a Yorkshireman himself.
Of course he is. And a very fine commentator, if I may say so.
The 5's in the post, I think.
This is Cobb back on now.
Richard's probably too tight to send you a 5. It might be a £1 coin. Wicket here, yep. Shan Masood gets under one. It's not his finest hour, and it was well taken out there at long on. It felt like pretty much a clothed lob sort of an effort, and a second wicket has gone down. 51 for 2 then. Yep, they wouldn't want to get complacent at this stage, even though apparently 51 more runs in 13 overs and 5 balls seems like a pretty simple effort. And warm applause and the usual Root, because Joe's here.
Number 66, Joe Root. Yeah, Shan Masood didn't really have to do that, did he? It wasn't his best shot. As you say, he clothed it really to long on, and a pretty simple catch really for the fielder. But yeah, Joe Root to the crease now. And if you're a Rapids player, you're seeing Joe Root walk to the crease, you think, my word, we've still got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, Josh Cobb with the wicket. First one of the season for him then. First one in T20 cricket this season. 1 for 4 off 7 deliveries. And Joe Root, well, no longer part of the England fold in this form of the game. Hasn't been for a little while now, but that does not mean to say that he can't have a serious bearing on the first 7 matches of this competition for Yorkshire this season, because that's what he'll be playing in before he heads off to rejoin England for their test series that come a little later. Cobb feigns his first delivery, and Root has played a nice little scoop over the shoulder of Gareth Roderick. Adam Finch giving the chase down to are right, and they get back for 2. So Joe off the mark straight away. And we haven't seen lots of him in T20 cricket in recent seasons for Yorkshire, but the matches we've seen him play in, never the spectacular really from Joe, but always keeps that ball ticking, and he's a really good anchor for the innings. Coming in at 4 here, he flicks that one through mid-wicket, and it's fielded by Walsh, and they pick up another single.
Well, it's the art of batting, isn't it? You get your 1s and your 2s, the odd boundary, and yeah, it's you know, to be fair to the Rapids, they're fighting here. They're, you know, 2 wickets down, but my word, they've got a long way to go here.
Yeah, as Lyth steps back and hits this one quite firmly past D'Oliveira, who's diving at short extra cover. They'll pick up 1 to Walsh, who's coming in from long off. The field will change again. Right-hand, left-hand combination for the bowlers to have to deal with here, as well as 2 high-class T20 players. Joe Root, 98 previous T20 matches, over 2,200 runs with a highest of 92 not out and averaging almost 32. Pretty good figures for a bloke who can't get in his national side, as that is pushed to D'Oliveira. And in once again comes Cobb. And Root giving himself some room outside leg stump to find the offside boundary sweeper and pick up another one. So there you go, just as I was saying, really, you never really see, you know, the spectacular, the massive hits and all of that from Joe, but he'll pick up his boundaries if he gets the opportunity, and the board generally just ticks and ticks and ticks. 56 for 2 after 7.
Yeah, so Yorkshire very much in the driving seat here. And
Change of bowler for the Worcestershire
another
Rapids,
change of
coming into
bowler.
the attack from the Kirkstall Lane end.
This will be
Hayden
Walsh.
Walsh.
Hayden Walsh coming on, yeah, from the Kirkstall Lane end. So the Rapids are bringing the changes with their bowling, trying to get another wicket or 2. Because obviously, even if they lose this match, it's in their interest to get wickets, isn't it? You know, in terms of run rate and things like that.
It just, yeah, if you lose, you're going to have to try and slow the game down as much as you can, aren't you?
Yeah.
So here's Hayden Walsh then, 32 years of age now, bowling his leggies, and that first delivery to Joe Root was just punted away along the deck through mid-wicket with the field all set back over there, and sensible play, picks up the single. 23 one-day internationals, 39 T20 internationals for Walsh, 31 wickets at 27, and with an international T20 economy rate of 7.95, 8.01 actually. It's worse in his general overall T20 career. Here he is bowling to the left-handed Lyth, who steps back. It was funny, I'm just laughing because he stepped back and he seemed to wait an eternity for that to get to him, and then just placed it exactly where he wanted anyway, which was through mid-wicket, 1 run.
Thought it wasn't going to reach him.
So Lyth on 19, Root 5, 58 for 2. Early stages of this 3rd wicket partnership, and Root steps back to a regulation orthodox leg spin delivery, and it's short enough for him to turn it round the corner for a single.
Yep, but as you say, you know, Root keeps the scoreboard ticking over, and you know, youngsters can take a leaf out of his book. The art of batting.
As he steps back here and tries to cut, and Adam Lyth misses out. Gareth Roderick also mistimed his clutch. So 43 off 74 is the equation, with 8 wickets in the tent. It would be pretty disastrous if they didn't manage to win this and get off to a 2-point start now. But cricket being cricket, you never rule anything out. Lyth chops one into the deck backward of point, and they get 1.
It's a funny old game, isn't it? But so far, so good for Yorkshire.
Walsh throws the ball from one hand to the other, comes in again. There's not much evidence of turn there, maybe a bit of top on it, and Root once again, he's content to go back foot and nudge that one backward a square leg for another single. That is the end of over number 8 at this same stage. Worcestershire 44 for 5. Yorkshire 61 for 2, having picked up 5 in that over. I don't know if commentator Cam is on or not, but this one, if it is for you, Richard Ray, if you are watching. It is the who's who, and yes, I am bringing it down to Leicestershire for you tomorrow night. He left it in this commentary box when Leicestershire played here at the start of the season.
I thought it wouldn't be yours.
I'm not paying that sort of money for
No.
£22.99.
Oh, far too
Goodness me. We have Cobb continuing at the Howard stand end, and that is punched up to long on by Joe Root for another single. Again, sensible play. DLS suggesting they should be at 38, and that's with the 2 wickets down, so they're well in front, as you might imagine, on the clock when they've only got the 102 runs needed from the outset to win. Lyth stepping into one and flicking it away out to straight mid-wicket. We'll pick up another one, and that's all it takes. It might not look spectacular, it might not be what people think T20 cricket should be, which is, I think some people think it's all about just banging the ball out of the park, and often the lowest scoring games are the more exciting ones. Root tried to flick one away through the leg side using his feet, but missed out, and it's a leg by, and he checks the bottom of his bat, maybe as if to old man Neil Mallender, and say, no, I got some contact on that, give me another run.
Something on it, yeah.
64 for 2, Cobb in again. Lyth goes aerial over short extra cover. The shot was on, no problem, and Hayden Walsh round from long off will prevent the boundary, and they'll get through for another very comfortable 2.
But Yorkshire have earned the right to bat like this, really, rather un-T20-like, because of the fact that they've bowled the Rapids out for 101.
2 to come in the 9th. Cobb round the wicket. Lyth tries to flick that one over square leg, and it's given us a wide. Missed it. His opposite number, Roderick, the Rapids wicket-keeper, couldn't take it cleanly either. So another run gifted. 67 for 2. Lyth again goes aerial through the offside. Lovely shot. Now, we see him play that through that area in red ball cricket so many times, and I purr with delight when I see the Adam Lyth push through extra cover, but this time he's chosen to loft it to get it beyond the grasp of Brett D'Oliveira. There's a big gap out there, and it raced away for 4.
Yeah, lovely shot there from Lyth.
Super stuff from him. 27 for Lyth, 71 for 2, and he retained the strike for this final delivery of over number 9. He's turned it square on the leg side. Root dashes through to try and turn that 1 into a 2, but no unnecessary risks needed, and they settle on 1. 28 for Lyth, 72 for 2 off 9, compares to 53 for 6 at the same stage, the Rapids.
Yeah, Yorkshire continue on their merry way, and you got to think now that it should be plain sailing.
Should be. You don't want to celebrate the wins too early, Graham.
No. And we know cricket's a funny game. We've said that. I mean, we've joked about it, but it's true, isn't it? But really, you know, Yorkshire are on their way here.
Martin Rowe asking where Harry Brook is, please. Well, he's obviously out at the World Cup, Martin. It starts on Saturday. Needs to be elsewhere. The T20 World Cup starting this weekend as Lyth turns that one into mid-wicket, and Hayden Walsh, who's bowling from this Kirkstall lane end, does the fielding.
Yep, so 73 for 2 Yorkshire, just needing 102 to actually win.
There's Walsh again, has Root going back foot and finding
looking for
big
2
gap
here.
in the onside.
He's going to
get back for 2. Smith doing the fielding, had quite a lot of ground to cover, and again, might not be the spectacular, but it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
He's spotted where the fielders are. If he can put it somewhere between them, even if it doesn't go for the boundary, they've got a lengthy run. It enables them to get back for 2 every time. Good cricket.
But Root's always been the master of that, being able to place the ball in between fielders, you know, not find the fielders.
Root into double figures now on 10. He's tried to play a reverse paddle sweep there to a ball that probably would have missed what was originally leg stump, off stump as he tried to play it. He's got something on it because it's been given as a run. James Green says Yorkshire played well. Is George Hill not in the T20 squad because believe he is useful one-day player? Very good. Put a couple of fielding errors. I think he's in consideration, but just not playing this evening. And another attempt at a reverse sweep, this time from Lyth, and he misses out. And Stephen Bull says it should be a comfortable win for Yorkshire this evening. It's at Sporting Live if you want to get in touch, as Lyth gets underneath one. He's going to get 4 here. And it was Rob Jones, the substitute fielder out there, coming in off the boundary. Misjudged that one, thought he could get underneath it. I suppose, given the situation, he had to take the chance, Graham.
Yeah, he did.
It didn't look great, did it?
No.
You'd have been criticising that if it was in any other situation, but he needed to try and take the chance to get the catch, and
I
didn't
don't
come off
blame
for
him
him.
for that. Yeah.
So 4 runs to Lyth takes him to 33, 80 for 2. We're only just approaching halfway here. This is the final ball of the first half of the Yorkshire innings, and Lyth will pick up 1 with a cut shot, which Matthew Waite eventually fields. So Walsh done for that over. 2 overs for 14 for him. And at the halfway stage, when Worcestershire was 60 for 6, Yorkshire are cruising here. And I'd love to tell you what they are, but they've just taken it off the board. There we go, 81 for 2.
Yeah, I mean, that last shot, the cut for 1, just epitomises for me, the pitch. It's very slow. You had to wait a long time to play that shot. And I think that's why the spinners have done so well tonight as well. I don't think it's a track for the quicker boys.
Now, Mighty Mariners says, evening all, Vikings going a lot nicely. Jonathan, I see the Diamonds are coming to Lincoln on July the 14th to play the Blaze. Yep, we'll have Diamonds action as well coming up shortly. I mentioned the Leicestershire match tomorrow. It'll be the same situation at Northamptonshire on Sunday, so if you want to hear the Yorkshire version of the commentary, then you'll be able to sync that to the Northamptonshire pictures as Tom Taylor comes in from the Howard stand end, and Adam Lyth gets underneath one, didn't time that as well as he might, and Smith also doing what Jones had done in the previous over, except this time he couldn't quite make the catch, but he got his body in the way and stopped them getting any more than the 1 that they have on the scoreboard. So 82 for 2. But yeah, Northamptonshire on Sunday. We have 2 games for you on BBC Radio Leeds. Sunrisers against the Diamonds in the Charlotte Edwards Cup in the morning. Wish I'd have written down the time for that. I think it's 11 o'clock. And then 2:30 for the Northamptonshire Steelbacks against the Yorkshire Vikings, as Root works one backward of square leg. The ball short of length from Taylor. And they get through for a single. Let's see if we can find that start time for Sunday for you for Sunrisers, because we'll be doing the double. Paul Shaw, former England women's head coach, is covering both games with me. There's an appeal for LBW here as Lyth tries to turn one into the leg side. It wasn't a bad shout either by Tom Taylor, but not given by umpire Neil Mallender. 11:30. We'll be on air a few minutes before the start of that. 11:30 on Sunday from Northampton for Sunrisers against the Diamonds. And then 2:30, the start time for the Steelbacks against the Vikings. We'll have both of them ball by ball live for you, as well as that match at Leicester tomorrow night.
I think that last ball just pitched outside the leg stump.
Here's Taylor again, and it's wide of off stump, and so Lyth has the office to get his hands through this one. And he felt like it was more or less deliberate that. He's opened the face of the bat. He knows everybody's up inside the circle, backward of square, and so he's chipped it really over the top and picks up 4 runs. And in the modern game, that's just how you play him, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. He knew exactly what he was doing there. Good shot.
Well, crowd, if they are, and you expect that they probably are, predominantly Yorkshire supporters, have had a good evening so far tonight. Plenty to cheer about, even if they might be complaining they've not had their money's worth. As Lyth gets a full-length delivery, and that's a beautiful shot again, through long off. There's a dive by D'Oliveira at mid-off, but he can't reel that one in. 4 more, and they're nearly done and dusted here. And how important could this be? We've no idea what the form will be like, and we know year on year on year it's up and down for Yorkshire in this competition, so we ain't going to get carried away with what the long term might bring. But if if you can win a match in quick time, how important could that be if things do get tricky as you go along? Last year, 3 defeats to start with, 4 defeats to start with, I think it was actually. It could have been 3. 6 in the Windle anyway, 6 in a row in the back. Oh, damn, I can't remember tea time, never mind, last season. They lost the first few, they won 6 in a row, and then they lost the last few.
Yeah.
I'm doing it that way.
We've got the picture, yeah.
Statistically, I've not got that in front of me. No. In comes Taylor, and it's over the wicket, and full toss, and Lyth has worked it away, backward of square on the leg side. Effortless shot from him, poor delivery, and a very expensive over just at the point you didn't need it, and the heads have really gone here, Worcestershire. I think it's fair to say at the moment, 14 off the over, 95 for 2. Yorkshire on the brink after just 11 overs.
Yeah, a good shot from Lyth because he bisected the fielders there on the boundary, and he's you know, the question now really, can he get his 50?
Yep. Don't think he'll be too bothered either way. As long as he can carry his bat here. It's just been a good start to the comp for him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't have a great competition last year, Adam Lyth. David Milan did. He, of course, back in the changing rooms for a well-played 25 off 17 earlier. It's Hayden Walsh who is continuing for over number 12 here, his third, and the first ball to the right-handed Joe Root, just pushed out square on the offside for an easy single.
Yeah, that was almost dismissive by Root. Just a single, but just nicely placed, no problem at all. And now Lyth is on strike, he's on 47.
Yep, make that 50.
51.
Because he's just chipped it away over extra cover.
Yeah.
And that takes him to 51. Superb stuff from Adam Lyth, the 30th T20 half century to go with 1 century. He's averaging over 25, and that is from 180 innings. And a lovely lofted shot to bring up that half century then. 43 minutes, 31 balls and 8 fours is on the analysis, and Yorkshire bringing up the 100, 11.2 overs, purely academic. Even I think I can say at this stage, Graham, because they need 2 to win, and he's just pushed one out square.
He hasn't got it there
on the offside. Look, Worcestershire, what can they do? Well, they've just got to put this one behind them as quick as they can. Yorkshire were routed for 80 or so down at Edgbaston a few years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just 1 game out of 14, isn't it, at the end of the day, as Lyth scoops one over the shoulder of Gareth Roderick, and that will be that. What a start to the Vitality T20 Blast of 2024 as far as the Yorkshire Vikings are concerned, because they have won this one by 8 wickets with fully 8.2 overs remaining. Adam Lyth, 55 not out. Joe Root, 13 not out. A partnership unbroken for the 3rd wicket worth 53. The damage done very much early doors with the ball. 6 Worcestershire wickets falling in the first 9 overs. Bowled out in 15.4 for 101. 4 for 25 for Dan Moriarty, super stuff from him. 2 for 10 Dom Leach, 2 for 10 also for Dominic Bess, and 1 for 25 for Jaffa Chauhan, and only Ethan Brooks and Gareth Roderick with 42 and 25 respectively offering any substantial resistance as far as the Rapids were concerned. And then with the bat, well, you always have to proceed with caution with these sort of things, especially doing this type of job, because you know how cricket can go. But it did look like a bit of a formality of a total, and Vikings supporters will be delighted that it has proved to be so. Just the loss of David Milan for 25 and Shan Masood for 7. And as I mentioned, not outs 55 for Adam Lyth and 13 for Joe Root respectively. And not even needed to see what Donovan Ferreira, overseas player, has got with the bat. It's been a great start to the comp, Graham.
Absolutely, just what the doctor ordered for Yorkshire. Their first win of the season, very comprehensive victory, and they'll be delighted with that. They really will. and it's back to the drawing board for the Rapids. As you said, they're going to put this behind them and move on to the next match. But Yorkshire can take a lot out of this match, and it was very, very good indeed. Great start to their T20 campaign.
Yeah, it sure has been. As I was going through all those commercials while we had the opportunity, I will just refresh memories while you're still with us. Perfectly good streaming commentaries, both at Leicestershire with Richard Ray and down at Northamptonshire as well, I'm sure. But if you want to hear the Yorkshire version, if you're a Yorkshire supporter, you might want to do that. We are audio only, both tomorrow night at Grace Road, Leicester, or the Upton Steel County Ground, as I think they call it still these days, and also at Northamptonshire on Sunday for both the Sunrisers versus the Diamonds at 11:30 and Northamptonshire versus Yorkshire at 2:30. Double header Sunday, ball by ball coverage there. Single header tomorrow night, 6:30 start at Leicester. If you want to listen to the Yorkshire version one final time, you're going to need to sync that BBC audio only commentary from the BBC Sport website and app up with the streaming pictures. Otherwise, don't be messaging me halfway through the evening, as most people seem to do, saying, where are you on the commentary tonight? You have been warned. Yorkshire win this one by 8 wickets. They've got 2 points on the board at the start of the Vitality Blast for 2024, but we've been here before. Let's hope this time there's more consistency from the squad. It's been a very encouraging start. From Graham Orange and from myself, Jonathan Dodge, many thanks for your company this evening. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be with you once again tomorrow evening from Leicestershire. From Headingley, from us, it's good night.